DJ Easy Rock. Hit it. Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds of MC Rawface and DJ Easy Rock.
Hey everybody, we got Sindy from Dance 411. Hey everybody, we are live right now at World the Step Convention Workshop. Sindy, let's go.
Hey Remo.
All right, you feeling me, right? We had to come in with that, Sindy. I'm a 90s. I was born in 78. I'm gonna say my age. But 90s, come on.
I was born in 73, but I can still rock it from the 90s, okay?
Hello, Sindy, how are you?
I'm great. I'm over here in my car with my quarantine eyebrows.
Well, Sindy, I want to thank you for being on, but can I just open up the show real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, guys, welcome everybody. If you're watching live, we are live at the 2020 World the Step Convention. This is our convention week, and we are ending on Friday, culminating to our live award show. But right now, we have sitting in her car. We're doing a car karaoke. We are live right now with no other than Miss Sindy. And Miss Sindy is from Dance 411. And she's going to talk a lot about what she's been doing, the industry, and, how you can try to get into it. So right now, follow us. Any questions, please talk about it. Let's have it. Sindy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I am adapting to what is this new world. But we're going to make it happen because the entertainment industry, and most importantly, dance, isn't going anywhere.
No, it's not. It's really not. And, I thank you, like pioneers like yourself that said, you know what, I'm going to go out there. And I read my bio. I did my research on you already, so I know. And Chuck is a good friend of mine. So when he connected me to you, I know that was a feng shui, because he's about feng shui. So I was like, so I would like I let everybody know a little bit about what Dance 401 does and about yourself, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am the co-founder and co-owner of two companies, actually. The first one is Dance 411 that you are mentioning, and the second one is 411 South Talent Agency. So Dance 411 is a world-renowned studio. We have people come from all over the world to train with us. I would have to say that we are the community of dance here within the southeastern region, and we do a lot of scouting for amazing talent. Just about every major choreographer has stepped in Dance 411, taught a class, did a master class, had auditions, castings. We've even filmed television shows there. It's pretty incredible. And then, of course, 411 South Talent Agency is what I would like to say the #1 dance talent agency in the southeastern region.
Yeah! Why not? Who's going to tout yourself if you don't tout yourself? Because you put the work into it. #1 means you just work for it. That's what it means.
Absolutely. Within the Southeast, I would say for sure we book the most dancers. We have the best choreographers that we represent. And if you guys saw the
reel
advertisement or whatever, the reel, you could see some of our work. That's clearly not all of our work, but we're super proud of a lot of what we've done this year. Coming to America being one of them, Coming to America 2 being one of them, American Soul, Star, Insatiables, BET Awards, BET Hip Hop Awards. I mean, the list can go on, but we're so proud of the work that we have done and the placement that we have been able to provide for not only our choreographers, but of course, the dancers.
Yeah. Sindy, now, I'm definitely going to go into how you started. Were you a dancer yourself, and were you trained, and that's where your passion started?
Yes. So I started dancing in New York, and I lived in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Hey,
Brooklyn!
And so that's where I found my passion for dance at home. I am Latina, and I grew up with my parents playing salsa and merengue and all
What's
sorts
your
of.
nationality, Cindy?
My family's from Honduras, so yo soy hondureña.
Honduras! Okay, I had to say that.
And so in my house, it was always about music and dance. That's definitely where my passion came from initially.
Mm-hmm.
And then it carried over to me wanting to actually get some training. So I did start dancing in New York. Later, I moved to Atlanta to go to college. However, on the radio, I heard an advertisement for an audition to dance with the group TLC.
No, the TLC?
Yes. So
No!
at the time, Chuck Maldonado was the choreographer.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
And
God! Are you kidding me, Cindy?
yes, no, I'm not kidding you. So I went in auditions. I made it. I can't necessarily say that I was the best dancer, but I had the most fire, and my performance was out of control, and my body was banging at the time, and I had a look. And so I made it, and from that point, I was dancing for many years under the direction of Chuck Maldonado. He actually was the choreographer, and he had choreographed a few other projects that I was involved in. He was an amazing mentor and teacher, and friend to this day. And then I branched off and met my husband. He's my husband now, clearly. And I decided that I wanted to kind of focus on behind the scenes versus in front, because everyone that I had been dancing with, training with, like Chuck and Draco, etc., they went off and moved to LA, and I stayed here in Atlanta with my husband and started the empire of what is called Dance 411 and 411 South today.
So now you started out as a dancer. Obviously, you were trained, and then you went into the business. And I think what people tend to forget there's a short-lived longevity when it comes to entertainment. And legacy is not built solely on how you perform, but is what you do and ingraining it and passing on the knowledge and then building your brand. So you went from becoming a dancer to realizing that you wanted to stay in the industry and making sure that you were involved in some component, but everything you learned, you felt, why not continue it into like a mentorship? Because that's where your studio sounds like. Speaking to Chuck, he mentioned that you're all about mentorship. Like whoever comes in, it's a family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He has a very soft-spoken voice. He goes, but don't mess with her. So don't mess with her. So I think that's what you created, which you evolved into your studio. Now, did you do the talent agency? You worked for another company prior. Were you first, so when you finished dancing, did you go and decided to become a talent agent first, or like, how did it go first?
Well, what I found was when I was out dancing and auditioning, that there was not a lot of direction, and there was not a lot of dancers were lost in Atlanta. They were just Atlanta. There's a lot of raw talent here, and we celebrate raw talent because I feel like they're some of the best dancers, and they dance from here, which is super important versus trying to be married to an A count. And so uh, I really had a passion for wanting to give back and help and guide people who really had a passion in the dance to take that and become their owner and their own brand, and teach them how to do that. So we started with, because I was a dancer, and I knew people that were choreographers in the industry or great teachers, started out offering master classes and workshops. And there's a whole of how we really started. We actually really started as a newsletter. It was called the Dance 411 newsletter. My husband and I started that together. And it was an information resource, which is hence our name 411 for dancers. And on there, we would list things like, tips on how to find an agent, or, auditions that I would scour through my husband, like trying to find opportunities, etc. Well, through that newsletter, our database, I opted in 40 of my friends. It grew from 3 to 500 in like a month. And now we
Wow.
have thousands and thousands of followers. So it grew so quickly that we didn't realize that people in the industry were also opting in to learn about the dance industry. So we started getting requests from major organizations like HBO.
You're breaking up a little bit, Sindy. Are you there? Oh, I hope you're still there. Hi guys, if you're watching us live, we're speaking right now with Sindy from Dance 411. Sindy, you there? Oh, hello? Oh, let me see if it's me, Sindy. Sometimes it can be me. Do you hear me? Sometimes it can be my connection. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we're good. We're good now. Okay. So then they opted, you had the information out there and then you started
Okay,
getting.
sorry. Oh, it's so bright. Started getting requests. People started asking to come to our master classes so that they could pick. And so we were like, sure. So we would have these master classes and have all these industry people lined up in the front of the class. Am I locked? Am I?
No, I can still hear you. No, I can still hear you. I can hear
And
you.
so
No, I can't hear you. Okay, now.
we, my husband was like, Sindy, we got to figure out.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes,
You
yes.
can hear me now? Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you can hear.
Uh, it goes off and
Can you
on.
hear
That's
me?
the problem. I can hear you now. Now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So
No, it's
we
okay. It's okay.
long story short, from just offering master classes, which would have 200 to 300 dancers in one room, to inviting people in to select dancers. So my husband's like, hey Sindy, it seems like we're a talent agency and we've got to figure out how to establish this. So in short, we became Dance 411 Talent Agency before we were Dance 411 the studio, because we didn't have a building. We would rent spaces to
Yeah.
host classes. And we started booking out talent with little to no knowledge of what we were doing. It was literally just God's grace and blessings and knowing our purpose and following the passion. And so it grew tremendously, and we basically monopolized the entertainment industry in the Southeast, meaning that we were from the corporate industries to the entertainment industries, to the film, television, commercial. They were coming to us because we had the largest dancers to book talent. In
Now,
short, we were
no, go
go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go.
Oh, okay. So we wanted to take it to the next level, and then that's with Block Talent Agency. And they felt like we both actually felt we were a good fit for each other. So our colors were orange. They were urban and fresh. We were urban, young and fresh. And so we married our businesses together in an effort for them to have a southeastern presence and for us to Los Angeles and New York presence. So as a result, for maybe about 5 years, we were Block South, Block Atlanta. And then now we've transitioned back into being 411 South. However, we still work heavily with to book talent. So when their choreographers come to the southeastern state and they have a project, they reach out to us, and vice versa.
Well, how do you feel? Like, what are some of the talents that you have worked with that have come into the building that you're like, oh my God, like there's always that moment when you're in the industry that you meet somebody like, oh my God, this is like, for me, it's when I'm gonna meet Oprah one day. I'm like, oh, can I just hug you, Oprah? Can I hug you? Is there been one person or maybe two people that you met and you like you try to be cool about it, but then you call you call your husband like, oh my God.
You mean artist?
Artist.
Well, for me, my first oh my God moment was Janet Jackson.
Oh shit.
I'm still a fan, and I still know how to do that pleasure principle choreography. And if I wasn't in my car, I would demonstrate. So for me, for sure, it was Janet Jackson when I encountered her, and most recently we booked Little Janae on a project that Janet was doing. My mind was blown. Secondary to that, I absolutely love working with Missy Elliott. Um, as you know, we represent Sean Bankhead. So Sean has done all of her more recent projects and music videos, award shows, VMAs, etc. And that experience is always incredible because Missy does an exceptional job of really representing all elements of dance. I mean, she's had steppers, African dancers, house dancers, um, crankers, like all sorts of dance. She just loves dance and she lives for it. And in fact, she gave a shout out to the dancers at the VMAs, which I went to this year to support our dancers because we did. Uh, Sean and our dancers were on the Normani and the Missy Elliott set, and we had a few, I believe, in Lizzo's set as well. Um, so I would say probably those two. I mean, there's been so many. Like, there's been so many that have come through the studio. There's legendary. Uh, there's actors. I remember one time I looked up, and I was behind my front desk, and I didn't realize that. Um, we are the hub for rehearsals for most of anything that is film and television that involves dance. And I turned around and I was looking at Wayne Brady, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here to rehearse." Then one morning I came by the studio, and Will Ferrell was in the back rehearsing for Anchorman 2 with Steve, and that was phenomenal. They are actually really funny in person. I mean, I could go on. I mean, it's always a surprise at Dance 411, and it's always a blessing too because it's amazing how many great experiences we're able to expose not only our adult talent but our children as well. And
What would you say to someone that's watching and someone that will be watching? What would you say to a kid that's out there that's trying, not a kid, but someone who's interested to go into the industry? What do you think are the top 3 things that they need to have in order to come into the industry?
Well, the first thing is that they need to have good, solid work ethics and integrity, and they need to understand that when you jump into the industry, you need to treat yourself as a brand and as an entrepreneur. It is nobody's job to do things for you. It is only your job. So you have to make sure that your package is on point and that you are doing the things to make you grow, like training and taking classes and training in every style of dance, not just hip hop. Tap into stepping, ballet, jazz, contemporary, etc. So that way, when you want to get booked, there's more opportunity for you to get booked in different genres in different types of work. The other thing is I would really focus on making sure that you stand out. Figure out what your USP is. What is your unique selling point? What is the, you're selling yourself when you're an artist. So are you going to be like everybody else just because everyone else has a long black weave? You're going to have long black weave? No, stand out. Figure out what color, is it a signature lip? Is it a signature style? Is it a style that you adapt to that can brand you very well? Like Chuck is very well known for stepping, and it has afforded him some amazing opportunities, for example. Um, then I would really focus on making sure that you have a correct headshot. Like you need an actual headshot And
Not a selfie, right?
not a selfie, a professional headshot where you understand that less is more, meaning that you're not going to have big hoops on, or nose ring, or you know, an extreme amount of makeup and crazy hair. No, your natural hair, natural face. No, no heavy accessories. Maybe just a stud if you want to wear it. Um, a solid color shirt. No prints. I know you didn't ask for all this, but
No, no,
sometimes I
but this
just
is
go.
good. No, no, Sindy, you know why? Because a lot of our kids who are like World of Step, one of the things that we're trying to do here is we're really trying to break the industry's thought process of what stepping is. So our convention has the way our competition works is that we have teams. Teams compete in either tap, step, hip hop, or strolling. And we do it so that we can bring the dance world into the world of step so they can experience and realize that we're part of the industry. So, a lot of what you're saying, the dancers, when you go to like a Star Dance Alliance or those big competitions, these dancers are trained. They trained on walking and talking, and they're trained to curse you out and still smile in your face. Our kids are not trained that way because we haven't
Right.
given them the professional tools to look at this art form as being professional. So what you're saying is so important, and I'm glad that you're talking about it. Like, this is what I wanted you to say. This is what. Now, what would you say when they walk into, and I'm glad that you said professional headshot. Do you think that they should also be having like a demo reel? So they should start working on putting a demo reel together as well?
Well, the things that they're going to need are, they're going to need their headshot. They're going to need a good solid resume. Um, I could go on what your resume should look like. And a reel is always great. We are in a visual industry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to charge my phone, and I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I should have just did this at home. But let's see if that works. Um, uh, they Okay, so a reel is important. But we're in a visual industry, so people want to know, and this industry is about convenience. So if you have a reel, it's a plus, because if somebody receives your headshot and then they're able to physically see that you can dance, then that's a great thing. Your reel should really highlight who you are as an artist. It really should be nice and professional. There's a lot of samples of, if you visit different websites, um, agency websites, you can see sample dancer reels, choreographer reels, etc. Follow that format. Don't just show a bunch of rehearsal footage where you're sweaty and it's not the best representation of you. When
So
people
like
look at
really
your,
take advantage of like renting a studio, setting yourself up with clothing. Like if you're going to represent yourself, like you talked about, it's about your brand. It's representing
right,
your brand. So if you're going to put it out there in social media, where most likely, I know for myself, I Google people before I meet them. I go on Instagram, I'm like, oh, she's a little trashy.
yeah,
That's how you kind of know what people are about. Everyone does it.
yeah.
So, take the investment in time and energy to set up your portfolio and your brand so it's the best of what you want people to see, right?
Yes, absolutely. And also, it's, keep up with everything that you do, every gig that you work. Make sure and try to get the actual professional video copy of it. If you have an agent, they can help you with that. If you don't, find somebody who is a great editor that can edit footage, and that can grab or things from YouTube or whatever and make it look nice and professional. Make sure that you're highlighting the sections in which you're dancing. And if you're trained in various styles of dance, make sure that you are showing that on your reel. And I do want to touch on stepping and stomp and tap. That's so needed in this industry, and still um, very alive. There's a lot of opportunity there. In fact, I don't remember the name, but we just had to submit for a movie where they needed tappers, um, and steppers for that matter. I don't remember the name, but if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Well, let me ask Sindy, for someone who's watching a kid. So I got the train, I got my demo reel. one of the biggest things that I tend to like to remind people is relationships. And when you meet people, and sometimes when you get into people have egos. They're like, well, I should be number one, I should be this. And how important is that when you have that, when you meet somebody and you work in the industry, even if they're like maybe an asshole to you, to keep your demeanor and remember how important are these relationships in ensuring that you continue to move on in your career and to ensure that you still have a career in the industry, because it's all about relationship, isn't it?
Well, the most important thing that I like to tell talent is that a please and a thank you and keeping your mouth shut and humility will get you a long way. So when you're on set, you want to remain humble. You are not you are not. I don't know, and I'm sure we have young kids.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're not the shit.
Right. Okay. Right. You have to remain humble. That will take you a long way, and people will want to continue to work with you and grow. Don't overstep your boundaries when you're on a project. Say please, and when you're done with the project, the first step towards developing a relationship, a rapport, and networking with someone is actually saying thank you. Thank you will get you a long way. Make sure and follow up. Follow them on social media. Check out their IMDb profiles. Check to see what they're doing, where they're going. Check to see if they're teaching. Make sure that you're supporting them and in their classes and their master classes and their workshops. Networking is so important, but you have to be networkable. And that's not a word probably, but what I mean is you have to make it so that people want to network with you also, which is why you saying your please and your thank yous and remaining humble is very, very important.
I think, no, it's 100%. I know that, and I've told Chuck, and Chuck has had his own experience. For me, myself, is I never forget a conversation, and I never forget what someone does to me. I stay quiet, but when an opportunity comes to work with the person, I'm like, I'm not going to work. I know how they work. So I always tell people, be very careful of what you do and how you maneuver, because people may not necessarily say to your face that they're not going to work with you again, but they will damn straight know. And you will know your circle started like this, right? And as you continue to grow your brand, it starts getting smaller and smaller, and you go back to the people you trust, people that you don't have to explain what your vision is, because you already know what to expect. And that's when you talked about networking. When these talent have, and these people who book them like yourself, and you already know how they work, how they dance, their workflow. When projects come about, you already have a list of people you already know will work out what project right off the top of your head. So you'd be like, call this, perfect, let's get it going. That comes from them knowing their brand, but understanding the importance of a relationship.
Well, it also comes with being easy to work with. Sometimes people prefer somebody that's not going to be dramatic, be late and unprofessional on set or in rehearsal versus the most talented dancer out there. And so you have to be easy to work with.
And I'm sure you haven't had that all the time.
Oh, definitely not. Not in all of the years that I've been in this industry. That's still something. And unfortunately, as dancers become more and more successful, they let their egos get the best of them, and they start to change, unfortunately, and they start to feel as though this industry needs them and they don't need it. But the reality of it is that there's always somebody on the come up that's ready to take your spot. So humility again will take you a long way. And I've been fortunate enough to have some great friends that have great humble spirits in this industry.
Well, now, Sindy, if someone wanted to get some information, let's say if someone wanted to be represented by Dance Forum or your talent agency, or how would they be able to get in contact you if they're an up-and-comer? And if they get in contact you, what should they have before they even contact your agency?
Well, you can go to 411south.com, and there's a submission platform on there on the Contact Us page. And there's, you'll check everything off. We do ask for headshot upload, resume upload, reel upload. I can be honest, we get a lot of submissions. But, you want to always make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. You want to make sure that whatever you present stands out from the rest, so that we actually are forced to stop, look, and call or email or whatever, DM, and say, hey, we want to at this point do a virtual a
Yeah.
virtual interview with you.
Well, and then the other thing is that they should definitely be following you on Instagram, right? The
Oh,
social
for sure.
platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow us on Dance 411. Follow us on 411 South. And follow our choreographers. Follow our dancers. They're phenomenal. I will tell you, too, with networking, social media is very important, guys. That's not an area that's an area of your brand that you want to protect, because that's now becoming your resume. So don't use it as an opportunity to vent and tell people off or represent yourself in a negative way, because we look at that. And
Yeah.
in fact, some of the artists that we have worked with recently, many of them will say, when we submit the dancers, send us their IG. And for several reasons. One, they want to know if you actually look like the way that you look like on your picture. But two, they want to know who you've worked with, how you dance. So you want to make sure, remember, your IG is your resume now. So don't go on there and make a fool out of yourself and post a bunch of inappropriate things or tell people off and vent.
Well, you know what? Sindy, I don't think you understand the value you've provided us and our followers. We're taking this conversation. We're going to put it into our convention, a back end, because I think it's so valuable. I also commend you being a woman of color in this industry.
And cute.
Yeah, and cute. I think it's so adorable. You look like a little teddy bear, Sindy. And then your voice, you're like a little teddy bear. I just want to commend you because, being a female in the arts industry, there are challenges that we go through. And there's conversations that we tend to hold ourselves back, not because we don't want to say it, it's because we're like 10 steps ahead and we don't want to entertain it. But women like you, and I know you're a mom, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Love that job.
Follow Delilah. I don't even know her Instagram. Delilah Schneider at Deli something. I'm so not social media.
No, but I thank you for this information. And I think that your experience being a dancer, your experience in growing. So if you guys are watching now, she went from a dancer to creating a platform, a news information, Dance 401, which is like news. And then taking that partnership, growing into a talent agency, merging and working with Block Talent, and then going back now, standing on her own. We're still working with Block, but, substantially standing on her own. I mean, that's a big feat. And I can see why Chuck has you as a friend. And I think, seriously, Sindy, I think you're doing remarkable. And if you wake up one day and be like, what the hell am I freaking doing? Just remember that the impact that you're playing on these dancers' lives, which is very lonely job sometimes, is huge. And I'm sure that motherly instinct automatically kicks in because you're like, oh, okay, your mom,
Yeah.
So, and that the sentiments will always come first and then business until they screw you over. And then that's when you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it is. And you're a wife. Oh my God. I always forget the husband. I always forget. My husband always looks at me and goes, why do you thank everyone? But I'm like, because you're already there. But, and one last thing, I just want to, so you can mention it. How important was your support system with your partner? If you could just mention that. Yeah. Oh my God.
You mean my husband?
You still there? Oh, please. Okay. How important was your support system with your husband? Like, how important is to have that positive support system backing you? Oh, I really hope I can get that part. If you guys are watching, you got me? I can.
Oh.
Sit. I can hear you now.
I got you. Yeah. So I can tell you that, fortunate. My husband is without not only his support, but also his business knowledge. I am 100% creative. He's definitely all of the other things. And, I certainly am the one that has the most passion for dance. My husband has an extreme passion for business and business growth. He's my partner. He's my best friend. he's somebody that I love, and he's an amazing father to my daughter. So for me, it was very important. I was also incredibly fortunate to have Nefertiti Robinson, who is also our business partner at 411 South, our talent agency. She's amazing. Her resume goes on, and she just has an incredible passion and heart for this industry, and she's been loyal. And we honestly have just weathered the storm when we had absolutely nothing and we couldn't pay our bills, to today where we are wildly successful and, you know, having a shot of tequila during the pandemic. So we are still together, hanging in strong, and still giving opportunities to our clients. So we're just happy and excited to be here, and grateful to be able to talk to other young performers like yourselves.
Thank you. So if you guys, I want to thank you on behalf of the World of Step. Thank you for agreeing to do this workshop. And after you've done your tequila and your shot of Starbucks. But thank you so much. It's been a blessing speaking to you, and you have no idea the impact that you will play in these kids' lives as they watch this. And I wish you complete the best with Dance 411. And this is only the beginning, because you know what? As we continue to grow our convention, we will be hiring you to bring them in. You're going to be pulling talent from us. You're like, Remo, we need all these different steps. From what country? Because you know
Yes.
what? We have international markets. We have convention in Peru, and we have convention in West Africa next year. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So wherever you're going to be like, you want talent, let's go. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And for
You're
those
welcome.
who are watching right now, make sure you follow Dance 411. It's South or South, right?
Dance 411 and 411 South.
Okay, you guys got it. Make sure you follow. Thank you so much, Sindy.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We were live right now with Sindy from Dance 411. Please do not forget. Watch this. If you are interested in breaking into the industry, if you are interested of just figuring out if the industry is for you, this is your chance to do it. She spoke about resumes. She talks about how you audition. She spoke about your Instagram profile and how you present yourself. Some of you are out there a little too much. Remember, when you take the name, that Instagram name, you are representing your brand, and it starts from now. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching us, and we will see you live at 3 o'clock with no other than the closing ceremony with C. Brian Williams from Step Africa. Bye, guys.